Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm like feeling the hoops. I never really wear hoops, but sometimes when I have my hair up, I'm just like, you know what? Let's just throw some hoops on. But anyway, today's video is going to be all about Sheglam eyeshadow palettes. Side note, I might look different than what I did on the thumbnail, but quick story, I filmed this video already and all the footage was deleted. Love that for me. So this is round two. We're gonna do this all over again and pray to the good Lord that this footage makes it through. So I started off with just buying one palette, which clearly I always talk about in like all my videos, and that is the Afterglow palette from Sheglam. I just wanted to test out their products since it was super affordable and I was completely in love with that eyeshadow palette. So being the person that I am, I went on Sheglam and bought literally like 90% of the palettes that they had at the time. I believe this was about a month or two ago, so they do have a lot of newer palettes out now that I do not have. And honestly don't really intend on buying just because I have enough. But I did want to just show these to you just in case you wanted to purchase them. I do know that Sheglam has a no return policy on makeup. So if you purchase, you kind of just like, you're stuck with it, whether you like it or not. So today I'm just going to show you all of the palettes. We can do swatches in some of the eyeshadow palettes because there's too many to do each of them, and just go through it, talk about it, and see if some are worth buying, thoughts, and all that good stuff. So if you would like to see my Sheglam eyeshadow collection, well then just keep on watching. So I have a little over 20 eyeshadow palettes here, and I was trying to figure out like how to categorize them. I think that we'll just start with like the smaller palettes and then move our way up to the larger ones. So for starters, we are going to kick it off with the Spring It On Clover palette. Love the packaging, it looks so nice. And this is a 9-pan palette. And this is the color story. We have lots of greens, some gold, a brown, and that really nice white shimmery on top. Off the bat, I'm just gonna pick two colors that call my attention. Definitely that green and that white. And this is what they look like, just sort of one swipe and one swatch, and this is how they swatch. Very nice. It is not that moussey formula that I was talking about, but it still looks really pretty, so I'm very excited to use and try that. But this is the Spring It On palette. Next up, we have the Desert eyeshadow palette, and this one is also really beautiful. We have a more neutral matte storyline with some really pretty shimmers on top. I'm just gonna go for that ultraviolet color. Oh, that looks really nice. That one swatches really nice. Some of these I have not used yet because, like I said, it's over 20 palettes and I have a ton of other eyeshadow palettes. But I love doing this because then I become more familiar. Oh my God, that is beautiful. That is Desert Sage. But anyways, like I was saying, I become more familiar with like which palettes I like the formula or the color story. So I'm just gonna swatch those two right here. Oh my goodness, that color in the middle, that is gorgeous. Over the eye, that would look so amazing. I'm like, should I put some on? Let's do it, whatever. If I look crazy, you guys won't judge me, right? Let me just put a little, I just want to show you how it would look on the eye. Oh wow, that looks really nice. Let me just put this over. Oh my goodness, I'm literally gonna look like a mermaid by the end of this video, but you know what? Who cares? I love this, and this is, oh my God, this looks so pretty. It's like a gold reflect with like a pink base. Obsessed. I'm just gonna like blend that out a little bit. Wow. Honestly, need to use that palette. Definitely gonna keep it in my everyday stash that I have outside so that I can use that color because I love it. So once again, that is the Desert palette. And I'm most likely gonna be swatching shimmers here just because that's typically what I like to go for. The mattes are, some of the mattes are really good too, and if we go to like some pastel colors, maybe I'll swatch those as well. But I feel like shimmers are the ones that usually swatch the best or just look the best, and that's what I'm most excited for. So I'm kind of just like opening the palette and like wanting to go and swatch the colors that scream out to me. So just a heads up. Next up, we have the Cloud 9 palette, and the packaging is just so cute. It's definitely also just this cardboard material. Side note, they do not come with mirrors, but I think, once again, I think this is like $6 or $7 max, so not bad at all. The names are in the back. Love that. And so this is what she looks like, and this is giving me like bubblegum vibes, like cotton candy, obsessed. And this formula up top looks very interesting. Oh, this is a pressed like glitter. Interesting. It's a pressed glitter, and I definitely am drawn to this blue raspberry. So let's see how that one swatches. It feels and looks kind of like it's a little chalky, but that is a very like bright and pigmented color. So let's see. It's not too bad. You might end up having to put some work in when putting it on the eye, but it still shows up, so I'm not complaining. And then we have this like glitter here. There's like an actual straight up snowflake in there, which is so funny. Those kind of remind me of the ColourPop like gel glitter formula, which honestly I'm not crazy about, but it's a good option for when you want some glitter. It's pressed, so you can literally just like go into the palette and take that out. I'm just gonna wipe my hand because I'm already looking crazy, and we still have like 20 palettes to go, and I want you guys to be able to see the fullness of each color. Okay, moving on, we have the Deep Feelings palette, and this one is mostly all like toppers, but I love this one specifically for this black. It is like, it's called Abyss, and it is like really black. So when I want to create a winged liner with an eyeshadow, I typically always go for this palette just to be able to get it. It is not the most pigmented black eyeshadow that I've ever used, but it does the job, so I am not complaining. That silver on top, which is the color Tundra, so beautiful. So once again, that is the Deep Feelings palette. I think it's a good one for deepening any look because it has those really darker colors to be able to add some depth, and it also has those really beautiful metallics on top. We then have the Blossom palette. Once again, loving the packaging. I love how like the packaging goes with the name. So Blossom, here we have some flowers. In the other ones we have like clouds. Like, it's just so pretty, and I think it looks so nice. This is what she looks like. So definitely very rosy, very pink. We have our browns on top to be able to like start off with our neutral colors. So love that, obsessed with it. I'm just gonna swatch this Daisy color. Oh my goodness, the names are all flowers. That is so cute. And I'm just gonna swatch this matte so that you guys can see. The brown feels really nice. Oh yeah, that looks nice. And that's the Daisy metallic on top. So like I said, I feel like the mattes vary. The more neutral colors tend to be a bit more buttery versus the more pastel and like pigmented colors. So just keep that in mind. And I think that goes across like all eyeshadow palettes. I don't know what exactly it is when it comes to like rich colors that kind of makes it a bit more like patchy or things like that. So just keep that in mind. The next palette we have is called Hello Yellow palette, another green one. Clearly I was very into buying a green palettes. But I think that green palettes just works so nice with brown eyes, which I have really dark brown eyes. So I've noticed, and I've always heard, that green and purples are really flattering to brown eyes. So I'm very excited to like use this. That yellow is just so vibrant. Let's see, it's probably gonna be a little patchy and chalky. Yeah, it kind of comes across a little like chalky, but it's still nonetheless shows up. So I'm pretty sure this might require a bit more work when you are putting it on the eyes, but like we mentioned earlier, it is sort of like a bright and pastel color, which typically requires more work. And I'm just gonna go into this middle color, and this one is also another pressed glitter that looks really pretty. I like that. I prefer more like foil or like shimmery wet eye toppers versus like glitters like that, but it's still a nice option to have. I'm just happy that like not all the palettes have that formula, and if it does, it's just one out of all. So That one's really nice. Next up, we have the 8th World Wonder palette. And this color story is just so beautiful. I love that it has a little bit of everything. We have some blues. We have some, that mustard color, which is so unique. We have nice shimmers. It is just a really, really beautiful array of colors. And I think that you can create so many looks with this one. So love that. We have this next one, the Rhapsody palette, and this one is all purples. Like I said, I am purple and green obsessed, trying to just incorporate those more into my everyday kind of looks. I lean more purple than green, but I definitely want to like continue to dabble into both. The shimmers look so pretty. There's a ton of like lilac here. You have your neutral colors. You have 4 different shimmer toppers, so you have a lot of options. Obsessed with that. Another purple palette that I have here is called the Lovestoned Palette. Once again, packaging looks so nice, and this is what she looks like inside. Here we have some purples, but we also have some greens and that nice neutral color. So once again, you can create a lot of different looks with this. For these pastel colors, I wouldn't necessarily wear them over the eye, like over the whole entire lid, but I think they would be really, really pretty inner corner colors. I think that's such an easy way to be able to use these like super bright colors if you're not trying to put it all over your lid like me. So just an idea in case you have pastels and you're like, how the heck do I use this? Try putting it in your inner corner to just add a little bit of color, but also to be able to have a little fun. Next up, we have the Beach Sunset palette, which I wish I was on a beach. And this one is just so pretty. It's like the mauve tones. We have some browns. We have some really nice deep colors, as well as some deep shimmers. I'm just gonna swatch. One of these is definitely this New Moon. She looks so pretty. And let's just do this poetic one. So these are definitely that like Super Shock formula. I'm just gonna swatch those right here. And here we have it. Next we have the Rose Code, a palette. And this one is so, I think I fell in love mostly with that center color. Like, I think it looks so beautiful. Definitely very wearable. This is an amazing like inner corner color, adds some depth. And then you have shimmers to be able to just put all over the eye. Such a beautiful palette, still pretty neutral, but you're, you know, expanding outside of just your browns. Now you have some like pinky, more mauve tones. So love that for us. We then have a Lots to Lava palette. Packaging once again, A1 with the topic. And this is what she looks like. So we have some like fiery colors. I love this like fiery orange. And then we have all these eye toppers that you can put over the eye. This one is called Milkshake, and it literally looks so nice and wet. It's like a very icy silver that'll look super duper pretty over the eye. Let me just swatch that for you right here. And that's what she looks like. Obsessed. I think that looks so pretty. I personally prefer golds over silvers. I just feel like it just complements me better, but I can still appreciate a really good like silver metallic. So if you're a silver lover, so good. But all the other colors here are so pretty. Honest, I've used these two combined as a blush. So good, because this is literally the tone that I love for blush. So honestly, you don't just have to stick to an eyeshadow palette. For eyeshadow, you can use it for pretty much anything, because I cannot tell you how many of these rosy eyeshadow palettes I've used for blush. Next up, we have this really fun palette, and it is the Rainbow Revolution palette. And it's literally all the colors you could possibly think of in an eyeshadow palette. Obsessed with that purple called Jelly, this lemon drop, and the names are so cute. Sugar Rush, Sour Candy. I am obsessed with it. I think another great way to be able to use these colors that's not in the inner corner, because I feel like these aren't light enough for the inner corner, is to create an eyeliner look with them. You take this, spray some of your setting spray on it, and just like I did this wing liner, you can take that and with a brush make a liner, and now you have a neon moment as a liner, and it doesn't look super crazy, and it's not like, oh my goodness, it's all over my eyes. So I'm super excited to like use this palette in that way. I'll let you guys know what I think about it down the line, but the colors ministered to me. I saw this and I was like, okay, I like this. But once again, this is a palette that if it were $30, even $25, I just wouldn't spend the money. Why? Because I don't use these colors that often. I want to invest or spend more money in palettes that I'm going to use more often rather than spending $40, $30 on a palette that's just going to sit there forever because I'm never going to use it. So the fact that I spent $6, 7 tops on this is just like mind-blowing to me. So love that. We also have this one, the Untamed palette. This one is so fun. Once again, I see a little trend of like a bright yellow going on here, but this is the color scheme that we have. We have some browns, some neutral tones, and then we have that really bright yellow in the center. Absolutely love it. Looks so nice. We then also have the Breeze palette. And this one is so pretty. This says spring so much. I love the flowers up top, the really pretty pastel colors, and all the eyeshadow toppers. Like, these just speak to me. I'm an eyeshadow topper type of girl. Like, I'll stick to the same neutral color palettes and then just go into other palettes to get that shimmer or to get those unique colors. So really love that. Obsessed with it. So that was the last of the 9 pan palettes. Now moving on, we have a few of their 12 pan palettes, and the first one is going to be Mauvelicious palette, and this one is definitely full of mauves. We have some really nice eyeshadow toppers, and it's more on the cooler tone. So if you're looking for a cool tone palette, you're kind of sick and tired of warm tone palettes, or you just don't have a cool tone, this one is a really nice one, and it's still wearable. So definitely like that one. We also have the Violet Vision, which is another very purpley palette. Oh my God, this color looks so pretty. I'm actually just gonna put some in my inner corner because why not, right? I want to show you guys how I would use these colors, especially since I have a purple liner already. I literally just put it like right here. And you see, it'll be something super duper subtle, but you're incorporating some of your eyeshadow palettes and you're incorporating color into your look. So you see, like, I love that. Like, it just looks so nice. Oh, and these are the perfect colors to do that. You can play around with it. You can put it as far up as you'd like. Like, just get creative and have fun with these colors. I think, mind you, I'm talking to you, but I'm also talking to myself. I'm like, Franny, get creative with these colors. There's so many things you can do with it. Sometimes a palette can look so intimidating when you look at it and you're like, oh my goodness, how am I supposed to even use that color? And I feel like automatically our brain just thinks like, oh, that color over the lid is gonna look crazy. But play with the inner corner, play with the liner, the waterline. There's so many things that you can do. So this is just the way that I would use that in the inner corner. Love it, obsessed. And like I said, purple has been sort of just like the color that I've been loving, specifically for eyeshadow. So we are here for that. The last 12 pan palette that we have is called Glacial Goddess, and this one is like icy blue. Clearly, I'm not just feeling purple and green, but we wanted some blue too. And this color is just so beautiful. Oops, I have it upside down. And this supernova color, oh, so pretty. Once again, for like in the inner corner for a green look or even a neutral look and just like a pop of that really beautiful green. So pretty. Excited to use that. Now we have 3 of their 15 pan palettes. And this one is the Mystical Mosaic Palette. And this one looks so pretty. This, for some reason, just gives me like fall vibes. So I'm excited to use this in the fall time. But obsessed with the color scheme, the color story. It just looks so enticing, so nice, so warm. So I'm very excited to be able to use that, even though packaging gives me like mermaid vibes. But that's that. We also have this palette called Centuries, which is very similar to the one that I'll talk about next that I'm obsessed with. And this is the color story. I don't typically really go for this. I think it's because it's just like also like very cool, like a cool tone palette, and I always lean towards warm tone palettes. But this really has some nice like mauve tones, lots of toppers, and the toppers look like they're really pretty. So I do need to make the effort to use this a little more. And I'm like, wait, I completely forgot that we had this gray here. I feel like I never use gray, but I'm gonna try to. I think like a gray liner mixed with like purple or something would look good, like a gradient. We'll see. we'll see about that. But that is this one. And then like my all-time favorite, like let's not even try and deny it, is the Afterglow palette. And I spoke about this plenty in all my other videos. Obsessed with this, obsessed with the shimmers, love the tones of the neutrals, 15 colors, like what more can I ask for? And the last two we have is their 18 pan palettes. And this first one is called the Glitz Wits Ecstasy Palette. And this literally gives me Huda Beauty dupe. I don't know exactly which is the one. I think it's the Desert Dusk palette, which I was so obsessed with. It gives me the same storyline and I'm here for it. I love the purples. I love that we have some browns here. We have like a pressed glitter, which honestly probably would never use, but very pretty. I haven't used this palette just yet. The only downside is this glitter packaging. Ugh, it's literally glitter everywhere. That's the only thing. I wish it was just that cardboard packaging that they had on all the other ones. But overall, I like the color story, and hopefully we'll be using this one soon. And so the last one in that same like Glitz Wits family is this one. And this one is called Brick Lane, and she gives me Natasha Denona Metropolis palette dupe. So these Glitz Wits are more like spot on dupes for like pre-existing ones. They're not necessarily the exact same because I have compared them, but they do give like a similar like storyline. We have some greens in here, we have some shimmers, we have some mattes. So lots of colors to be able to create a bunch of different looks with. Very nice, very cute, but once again, not a fan of the glitter packaging. I wish it did not have that. So that pretty much concludes my Sheglam eyeshadow collection. Overall, I really do feel like for the price, like honestly, you can't even really complain. Under $10, the majority of these palettes are under $10, some even under $7. Like there's like, for their price, they're really good. Now, would I say they're the best eyeshadow palettes? No, they're not. There's definitely plenty other brands that like make amazing and much better quality eyeshadow palettes, but these are not bad. They're not bad at all. Like I mentioned throughout the video, some of the pastel colors can come across a little patchy and can be a little harder to work with, but I feel like that's just kind of across the board. Richer and like brighter, more pastel colors seem to be a lot harder to make or give more difficulties to make, but overall their shimmers are like spot on. Their neutral colors, their browns are so good. So I would definitely recommend looking at their eyeshadow palettes. Definitely don't need to buy all of them like I did. I kind of just went on like a blackout on the page and was like, I want it all. But I'm also just the type of person that likes to have eyeshadows from different brands versus just one brand, and I've started to notice that about myself like more frequently because I have a ton of ColourPop palettes that I have as well, but I always like to just like mix things up, not just mixing the palettes but also just mixing the brands. So definitely keeping that like noted in my head for when I want to buy multiple palettes from one specific brand. Like, girl, you get a few and then wait it out and see what other brands come out with and things like that, because I just love to see different color story, different formulas and things like that. I hope you found this video super helpful. I'll be linking all of the eyeshadow palettes down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye!